technology side of it. Really, really not. It starts on the outside and then we'll get on the inside, okay? Just looking on the outside, little simple things like the touch. If you got it in your hand, if you got it in your purse, you can lock and unlock it right there from a push of a button. Makes life really, really easy. Also, you see the simple things like the running boards. As soon as you open the door, pop out. It's easy stuff to kind of understand the convenience and how that can be a factor as far as a value builder, if you will, okay? Coming around to the front, this is where a lot of the technology starts. There is a 360-degree coverage, if you will, as far as safety around this vehicle, okay? You see you got sensors here on the front. We got 4 more in the back, look just like it. This also is going to give you for forward parking. Makes it real easy, gives you a visual on the inside and an audible alert letting you know if you're too close to an object. Even when you're parking, it gives you vibrations in the seat to let you know that you are too close to that object, okay? Also, if everybody can look there, this little triangle here, for those new in the business, this is a camera that looks on the road right in front of you, okay? It's tracking your vehicle, making sure that you're staying in the lines on the road, okay? Makes it really, really easy. It's called lane departure warning, okay? With the lane departure warning, there is a visual on the dash on the inside. Also, you get, when you're driving, think about this. How many times have we been driving down the road, distracted for whatever reason? You're eating, you're on the phone, something like that, and you can swerve into somebody else's lane, you get the horn, and now you're scared to death, and you almost hit the wall or something crazy. It's happened to everybody. The lane departure warning, as long as you keep it on, it's going to keep you from doing things like that. While it's on, I like to think of it like this. It's like if you've ever been bowling and you've had those kiddie ramps up on the side, every time the ball hits the ramp, it kind of bounces back and forth. Every time you hit the line, it's going to give you a vibration on the side of the seat that is letting you know that that side is the side that you are intruding into the other lane without your blinker. If you don't have your blinker on, it's going to alert you every single time. If you swerve left, it's going to give it to you on the left-hand side. So obvious reasons why this could be a benefit to the customer, okay? I think that it can cause distractions as well because you think that because you've got that you can just kind of text and it's not a good idea, but it is definitely very good technology, okay? Along with that, with the technology from the sensors on the front, the camera here, you also have what's called adaptive cruise control. Another great technology on these new models. If you put it in cruise control, I put it in cruise control all the time. I live in Horn Lake, so it's a 30-minute drive here, 30-minute drive home. I'm not trying to have my foot gas pedal, gas brake the whole time there. So I'm in cruise control a lot. My truck doesn't have the adaptive cruise control. So I find myself adjusting my speed on the left-hand side, just up, down, hit the brake when I need to stop it, all this kind of stuff. Adaptive cruise control, you don't have to do any of that. You put it in cruise control at the speed that you want to be, and it gauges traffic that's in front of you. It's going to track the car in front of you, and if it needs to slow down, it's going to automatically do the braking for you. Makes it really easy. It'll even bring you, when you're coming off an off ramp, it'll bring you to a complete stop. All you have to do then is just put your foot on the brake after it stops for you. Really good stuff. It'll disengage once it comes to a complete stop also, okay? Along with that easy stuff, the LEDs are becoming more standard in our marketplace now. I think in the next year you won't see a car that doesn't have LED lights. Great thing about the Denali though, that is different from any of the other Yukons, is that if you want HIDs, you have to go to the Denali model, okay? All right. Also, just coming around this way, talking about safety and convenience, a couple other things that are really good about the Yukon Denali especially. One cool little thing I learned today. Learned this just today. There is a foot activator. You know how Ford has the thing that you put your foot under there and it opens up? I had no clue that as long as the vehicle's locked, it's somewhere under here. Hold on. There it is.
Wow. I didn't know that.
I didn't know it either till just today. So, granted, anyway, good technology. So, when people say, well, you guys don't have that tailgate, we actually do have it. It's only on the Denali, but we have it. And Chevy Tahoe LTZ, okay? So if you want it, you can get it on those two models. And so Ford doesn't have that exclusively any longer, okay? All right, also, rear park sensors that I was telling you about, standard option on pretty much all of our models. I'm talking Terrains, any of the GMCs, all of the Buicks. As long as you're not on a base model, SLEs are better. you're always going to have the rear camera here, okay? The rear camera is something that seems really simple, but a lot of customers that are trading out their vehicles don't have it. And if you're not talking about it, then you're missing a big step there, because that is huge, and they're actually making it government mandated to have the rear cameras on there. I think it's in 2016, it's going to be mandatory for anything produced to have that rear camera. Obviously, that must be there's a big deal about safety and stuff like that, about people getting into accidents going in reverse, okay? All right. On top of that, with these, they actually, talking security, they have break glass alarms on this back window, the rear glass, and on this side also, okay? The glass was broken and the doors are locked, alarms going off immediately, okay? A couple other things as far as security is concerned. We talk about it all the time. There is what's called inclination sensors in the overhead. That means if the tires lift up enough, you slide a piece of paper underneath there, the alarm's gonna go off. And it's not an alert like the horn, it's a screaming siren, just it's way different from the horn, so nobody can mistake it for something like that, okay? Wish I had a jack so I could demonstrate it, but I don't. I will, however, demonstrate this. Let me borrow that, thank you. All right, so along with that, as far as talking security-wise, we'll get into OnStar in just a second. They also have ultrasonic sensors on the inside also. If you leave an animal, a kid, or something like that in the vehicle, leave the doors locked, and you don't want them jumping up to the front, messing with anything, because the vehicle's locked right now, let's make sure. I've cracked the window, so if you, even in the event that you crack the window, somebody's trying to get in the vehicle, I'll show you how this alarm works. I don't even have to shoot anything. Very good technology. I like that, because if you do leave somebody in the vehicle, say you did it on accident, you know how many times that people leave their kids in the cars and you hear about it on the news and how dangerous that can be. In the event that you do and they end up moving up to the front, somebody is going to hear that and they're going to come and look and see what's going on. Could save people's lives? Who knows? The great thing is that the technology is there for you if you want it, okay? Along with that, let's see here, we're talking safety. All right, with safety, thank you. All right, with safety, when you're talking about safety, obviously exclusive to the GM brands, we have OnStar. Okay, there are a bunch of imitators that try to duplicate the same thing OnStar does, but OnStar's been doing it the longest and they're better at it. Great thing is that even if you're selling something on the used car lot, you can sell them OnStar also through aftermarket OnStar FMV. The reason that it's such a big deal on the newer models right now, there's a ton of things going on. We talk about Wi-Fi and we talk about all these other things. Simple things. There's a thing called Family Link with OnStar. If you have a child that you're going to have driving, things like that, very, very beneficial if you have the Family Link on there. You can track where the vehicle is. You can also have an alert set up for them to be at a certain spot. For instance, the kid's supposed to be at school at 8 o'clock. You'll get an alert if that vehicle is not at the school at the time that it's supposed to be. So you can kind of track and see where your kid is. Could be dangerous when you're doing it with spouses and stuff. But nonetheless, you still have the technology there if you need it, okay?
If I buy this, don't tell me why.
There you go. All right. I'm gonna get in. I'm just gonna roll all the windows down so you guys can hear some of this stuff here. Along with your OnStar, mind you, you will have the directions and connections package is what we've been calling it for all this time. I forgot what they actually changed the name to now. But you get the top of the line premium package with OnStar, okay? With that package, you're gonna get navigation, even if the vehicle's not equipped. Obviously the Denali, this one is equipped with navigation, which there are some extra benefits there. But any vehicle, if it has OnStar in it, you can have nav turn by turn downloaded to the car to wherever you want to go in the continental United States or even Canada, okay? Now, OnStar also provides a ton of safety and security stuff as well. We're talking safety and security. As far as safety is concerned, automatic crash response. Huge in this market, because if you get in an accident In the old days, it took, by the time you get out and you're all groggy and stuff, now you got to try to call your insurance, call the police, call all these people. And OnStar automatic crash response means they're going to come over the speakers, check on you, your family, make sure that you guys are okay. In the event that nobody can respond, be it because they're not conscious or whatever, they're going to send first responders to their location anyway. And 17 seconds is all it takes. With no response, they're coming running, okay? Whether you need fire, police, whatever, they're coming. Also, they have what's called crisis assist. Crisis assist is something that in the event of you seeing an accident or a domestic dispute that you see or something, and your phone's dead or something like that, you can run to your car, push the SOS button on here, and it's just like calling 911, if not more efficient, because they're going to get on the line with police, fire, whoever you need right then and there. There have been situations where people have been on road trips and kids have issues, asthma attacks, stuff like that, while they're on the road too far away from any kind of hospital, and they've flown choppers in because OnStar's talked to the hospital and saved kids' life because of stuff like that. Very, very impactful stuff, okay? Fun stuff, because that stuff kind of seems a little dreary sometimes. The technology as far as the inside is just amazing. You can compare your phone, you can pair up to 10 devices. You pair up to 10 devices to the vehicle, okay? 7 devices can be on the Wi-Fi within the vehicle at one time. Obviously, it probably slows the thing down because you're pulling some of the juice from the Wi-Fi or whatever. But still really, really great. If you got the vehicle filled up, everybody has their phones, their tablets, stuff like that on road trips. They can watch movies, stream from YouTube, any of that kind of stuff. And without using any of the data plans, just using it straight off of the OnStar here, okay? Also, when you pair your phone up, this is the stuff that I really, really love. I use this stuff all the time. It is basically a housing for you to be able to keep your phone in your pocket, in your purse, in your storage compartment here. I think that is still cool to this day. You can keep your phone back here and never, ever, ever have a need to touch it, because you can do everything you need to do with your phone either from the screen here, or you can do it right here from what's called the Driver Information Center, okay? Now, under here, I want to just show you a couple things in settings. We were just talking about kids as far as the family link with OnStar. When you look at this thing, you can actually go in here, you can set speed warnings, where your kids don't mess with it. If it goes over a certain speed limit, it's giving them an alert, and it's going to get on his nerves until he gets to the right speed. That's all it is to it. He can't mess with it. Along with that, you also have what's called auto volume settings. So when you get in the vehicle, there's no maximum startup is what it's called. When you get in the vehicle, you know, if you're listening to music real loud, or the kids were in the car and have the music all cranked up, when you get in the car, you can have it where the maximum value is 0, 1, 2, so you don't get in and you get this surprise of blasting music, especially with the 10-point surround Bose system that's in this bad boy here. All right. Also, when you pairing up a phone here, easiest thing to do for me is voice recognition. There is natural voice recognition on this thing, where you can just say pair phone, pair, Bluetooth. Any of those kind of commands are going to get the same function for you, along with call Susie Cockenlocker, or I want to call Susie, or I want to listen to whatever radio station. You can say the radio station by name, Willie's Roadhouse, or you can say XM44, or whatever. It's natural voice recognition. However you want to do it, you can say it to the vehicle, and it's smart enough to know what you're talking about. Really good stuff. In this model exclusively, we have the heads-up display. If you haven't experienced or seen this heads-up display, definitely want to get in one and see it, just to look at it, because it's one of the coolest features on here, especially for those who take a lot of trips. They found that the #1 reason people get fatigue on the road is from having to look at the road, look down, look at the road, look at your speed, look up and down. Heads-up display eliminates all that. The coolest feature is it used to just give you just the miles per hour that you're doing, how fast you're going. Now you can change it from miles per hour, the radio station that you're listening to, which direction you're headed, your fuel economy, all that stuff you can see right here on the windshield. But obviously you can see the benefits in those for sure. Forward collision alert is another one that's kind of tied into the adaptive cruise control. When you're driving, it'll give you a little icon here. It'll show you a green icon once it's tracking the vehicle in front of you. And that's how you know that you're tracking that vehicle in front. All right. Also, with the forward collision alert, if you're following the vehicle too closely, okay, it's going to give you a yellow marking here and let you know that you are following that vehicle too closely. Just a bunch of safety things that surround this car that are very beneficial to whether you're old, young, new at driving, professional driver. A bunch of stuff that can actually go in here and help you out a ton. There are a bunch of things that I'm leaving off, but I'm thinking I'm way over my time right now. Not yet? Okay. All right. Well, I can go in a little further there here. All right. Solid one. Perfect. All right. Okay. The screen is touchscreen. There are things that you can do. You can actually calibrate it to where if it seems off or the touch is too hard or whatever, you can actually calibrate it. That's really, really simple stuff there. Okay. You can control everything from, okay, memory. You got memory seats in here. That's gonna do the mirrors, the seats. That's pretty much it. I believe in certain models with the telescope wheel, it also adjusts as far as the memory seats are concerned as well. I definitely want to do a little research on that one though. You can also, when you put it in reverse, you'll see it on the camera here. All right. Also, you can have the option to have your mirrors, like your lacrosse does, tilt down towards the ground so you can see the curve, especially for a vehicle sitting up this high. When you're going in reverse, you definitely want to know what's going on in your surroundings. Where cameras one, you can also look backwards or use the rearview mirror, which is natural for everybody. Also, now you have the mirrors tilted down at the ground to kind of see if you're in the lines or if you're getting too close to the curve or what have you, okay? Greatest thing about the technology in this vehicle is that they have, it's called familiar gesture is what they call it. But it's familiar because you use it every day on your phones. Swiping, drag and drop, customization on this thing. All you have to do is push and hold the button. When you see the brackets show up here, if everybody can see that, I don't know if you can. If you see the brackets here, now you can kind of adjust how you want to set this thing up. For instance, this is my app tray at the very, very top. I can add weather to my app tray there. If I wanted to do that, you can add up to 5 on your app tray. So let's just say weather and text messages will add. So now I have that customized the way I want it. Also, if I want weather to be on the last page, I can do that also by just dragging, dropping, stuff like that. A lot of stuff that I didn't know when I was doing a little bit of this research, so I didn't know it. I know it's good stuff. All right. Also, you can save up to 60 favorites. Right here you only see 10, but that's because of the settings. If you go into your settings, you can adjust that. You can adjust that, but you can save up to 60 favorites. You would think that you don't have 50 or 60 radio stations that you listen to on a daily basis. The great thing is that it doesn't have to be just radio stations. You can save contacts in there. You can save addresses. If you have navigation, you have to have navigation if you want to save addresses and stuff. On top of that, you can add favorite destinations, contacts, favorite songs, favorite artists, things like that. Along with that, if you have an iPhone, the best way to have an iPhone with these vehicles is to have it tethered in. If you have it plugged in, you can do so much with it. While you're going through your radios, if you're listening to an HD radio channel, you can actually click on the song and hit select iTunes tagging. iTunes tagging sends it, you probably already know about iTunes tagging. You didn't know the vehicle could do it though, did you?
No,
you can do it right here from the radio. When you're listening to a song on HD radio only, on HD radio, you can actually iTunes tag that song. It'll go to your iTunes account. When you get home and you're looking through your stuff, it has the suggestions of songs that you picked out off of your vehicle that you can download from your iTunes store. Okay? Also, even if you don't, with the Android phones, like I'm part of the Android nation, you can still be a just Wi-Fi, just be a Bluetooth, pair up your phone, and you'll be able to get through this thing. You can do what's called Tune Select. if you're listening to a certain song, you want to hear it again only on XM radio, and you want to hear it again every time it comes on, they give you an alert on the screen, let you know that your song's playing on XM44 or XM90 or wherever your song that you pick, or artist. It doesn't have to be just a song or artist. You can tag it. Every time it comes on, it's gonna pop up right there on the screen. Another big thing, valet mode is the last one I'm gonna hit. Valet mode, you can go into valet mode, enter any lock code that you want. It's no one preset it or anything like that. But once you set it, that's the one that you got to use to unlock it. And it changes every time. If you want it to change, you can use the same one if you want to. The great thing about valet mode is that if you're letting somebody borrow the car and you don't want to mess with everything, you can lock it where they can't mess with the radio. They can't do anything but drive this thing. They can't mess with the seat settings. They can't mess with the steering wheel, any of that kind of stuff. Obviously, you can see the advantage of that, especially if you are using a valet, because they can pull off in something nice like this. They're going to crank the music up, feel like it's theirs for the 20 seconds it takes them to park it. But instead, you can block them from doing all that stuff and lock off any valuables that you have behind this screen, behind the wall here. I am going to open the floor to questions because I know I went through a lot and I still have more to go into. But does anybody have any questions at all? No? I missed it. I don't think so.
I let you go 22 minutes.